boys and girls. Welcome to another of our daily class meetings. Let's start out with our calendar today. So the month is April, and April starts with what kind of letter, boys and girls? This is called an uppercase or capital letter. All of our months of the year will start with a capital letter. Just a quick review. Let's go through the days of the week, starting with Sunday and ending with Saturday. So if you know the days of the week song, this will be easy for you. So Sunday, and it starts with a capital letter. We capitalize not only the names of all of our months, but the names of the days of our week. So Sunday, what comes after Sunday, boys and girls? Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and when we were doing our spelling words, we were frequently calling it Wednesday. Wednesday is how it's spelled, but it's called Wednesday. After Wednesday comes Thursday. After Thursday comes our favorite day of the week, flossing. Say it. Friday. Friday, that's excellent. And then the last day of the week is Saturday. So the days that we normally would go to school would be on the days of the work days of the week, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then when you hear people talk about the weekend is when the week essentially ends, the work week ends, and it's some days where we don't go to work. Typically, they're not typically work days, and those would be on Saturday and Sunday. Those are also days we don't go to school. Okay, let's get into our calendar. We need to move things along here. So I'm moving today is, yesterday was, and tomorrow will be on our calendar. And for Miss Ditzel's kids, each of the days of our calendar are inside of an umbrella, and each month when I change these, there's going to be a different background that the numbers will be in. April primarily uses umbrellas because they always say April showers, shower meaning rain showers, bring May flowers, because one of the things that you need for plants to grow is water. So April showers bring May flowers, and we use umbrellas because umbrellas are what we use, that we hold up like this, but this is not an umbrella obviously, to keep us dry. Excellent. Okay, today is, go ahead, Tuesday, April what? We're going to go back down here, April 21st, 2020. So if today is Tuesday, April 21st, yesterday, if today's Tuesday, yesterday would have been, say it with me, Monday, April 20th. The year is 2020. Excellent. So if yesterday was Monday, today's Tuesday, tomorrow in the future, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Wednesday, what month are we in? April 22nd, 2020. Now, if you look at my April calendar here, you'll notice that tomorrow is Earth Day. And Miss Kolb has sent out a message to everybody on Class Dojo about an Earth Day project. If you're interested in doing some kind of like authentic hands-on learning project at home with family, there are some things that you can do for Earth Day. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Earth Day with you, and I'm looking right now for a really good book. Either I can read to you, or I'll probably assign a book that you can listen to someone else reading, either through YouTube or Storyline Online. So, great. Boys and girls, we've talked about our clock, and we talk about the shape of a clock. A clock is a circle. Excellent. So, we can use a paper plate to talk about whole and parts. So this is a whole paper plate, a little magic, boom. It's now in two parts. So if this was a pizza and Mr. V brought it to school and I said, I'm going to share some with you, I was going to give you half, I would divide it down the middle and you would get one half and I would get the other half. So half, if you look at it from a clock's perspective, half of a clock would be from the top of the clock to the bottom of the clock. Okay, you notice that? Let me turn the clock so you can see that. From the top of the clock to the bottom. So, let's review our clock information. This is called the clock. What am I touching? My face. So everybody, this is the clock face. The longer hand on a clock, is it the hour hand or the minute hand? The longer hand on a clock. It's the minute hand. Excellent. The shorter hand on a clock, is it the minute hand or the hour hand? Quick, ready? Say it with me. It's the hour hand. So when we're telling time on a clock, we would look at the clock. If the minute hand is at the top of the clock, that means we're starting a new hour. So all we would have to do is find what number is the hour hand pointing to. That's the time. So this would be 10 o'clock. Let's look at another one. This is a tricky one. You guys will like this. The minute hand and the hour hand are both pointing at the 12. So it's the beginning of a new hour. And it's pointing to the 12. So this, boys and girls, is 10 o'clock. So if we keep going, one more. Look at the clock. It's the beginning of a new hour. Everybody tell me, what time is it? Did you guys say 3 o'clock? If you did, great job. You got it right. Okay. So once we can tell time to the hour, the other goal for first grade is that you can tell time to the half hour. I'm going to even go beyond that before the end of the year and teach you to the quarter hour, but let's get half hour first. So if this is the beginning of a new hour and this would be 3 o'clock, and I move the hand halfway down the clock, the last number that the hour hand touched was the 3. It's going toward the 4 because the hour hand always travels in this direction. So it's 3. And how many minutes did we go through? 3:30. So what time would this be, boys and girls? Beginning of a new hour. It is, say it with me, 4 o'clock. So if this is 4 o'clock, now we're going to go halfway around the clock. This would be 4:30. So if that's 4:30, then this would be, what time, boys and girls? Say it. 5 o'clock. And then this would be 5:30. Remember, I know you're going to want to say 6:30, but has the hour hand gotten or touched the 6 yet? No, it's between the 5 and the 6. So it's still considered 5:30. And then when it goes to the top of the clock, oh, I went the wrong way. When it goes to the top of the clock, it is now 6 o'clock. So this would be 5 o'clock. This would be 5:30, and this would be 6 o'clock. Excellent, boys and girls. Last thing. Yesterday I assigned a reading to you, which it really was more of a third grade reading. However, I always like to challenge you guys, and we did learn in January about Dr. Martin Luther King and what he fought for. And one of the things that he fought for was that children, no matter what color your skin is, could all go to the same schools, could all eat in the same restaurants, could all go to the same places and be treated equally or the same. So we had a whole conversation, and that's really what this book is about. Mason, who is our main character, he's one of the characters in the story. So we're going to talk characters first. There's Mason. There's Mason's parents, Ma and Pa. There is Mason's 2 brothers who really have a small role in the book. Henry and Willis Jr. are his brothers. There's Miss Roberts, who is the typing teacher. There's Mr. Bullock, who's the principal. There is Golden Franks, who is a man who helps to fight for equal rights. And then there is the 2 boys that were friends with Mason and his brothers when they were working in the summer. They all had summer jobs picking, in this case it was tobacco, because that's one of the things that was grown down in the South, probably still is grown down there. And Mason and Henry and Willis would get a job in the summer, just like my daughter has a job in the summer, and they would pick tobacco. And Daniel and Patrick were 2 boys who also did that, and they were kind of friends, during the summer. This story takes place. This is the really important part about this story. So we go to setting, which is our second one. Setting is the time and place a story takes, and that's a really important one here. It takes place in Greenville, North Carolina, which is in the South, and it also, you want to think about the time. It was the 1950s when this story takes place. And that was a time where people were not treated equally and there was not fairness in the world. Kids could not go to the same school. So, kids who had darker skin had to go to one school and kids who had lighter skin went to a different school. And that was not fair. And so this story takes place during that time. It doesn't take place during now, because now we all go to school together the way it should be. The other settings in this story are Mason's house. Mason is the boy. Belvoir High School, which is the school that originally was for the kids who had lighter skin, but then there was an important thing that happened where they won the right to be able to go to any school. So then Mason and his two brothers decided they were going to go to the same school with all the other kids in their area, because the school was only 3 miles away. And then also Farmville High School is the last setting, and that setting is where they had the typing contest. And really this is all about the problem in the story is that people were not treated the same based on the color of their skin. And that people like Dr. King, who we learned about in January, fought to make it so that everybody was treated the same and treated fairly. And so Mason and his brothers won the right to go to whatever school they wanted to, and people didn't want them there at first because change is difficult for people. And eventually they were accepted there, and Mason won the typing contest. And typing is like, think of the keyboards on your computers. Well, before we had computers, we had machines where you could just type a letter instead of like typing a document and printing it. So that's what a typewriter is. If I ever get a chance to show you a typewriter, I would love to show you what one looks like. So that story was really, really deep. And there's some words that they use in that story that we would never use today. They weren't meant to be disrespectful. They were meant to show the way things were back then. Was it right? No, it wasn't right, but that's the way it was back then. So tomorrow we're going to read, I would love you to go online and find the story Brave Irene by William Steig. And it's a story that is, I don't want to give you much detail on it, but what I want you to do is see who the characters are, what the setting is, and what is the problem or the big disaster in the story. So have a great day, boys and girls, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.